Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go, 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 go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
Back. Now we're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go, 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 go. Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It is yours truly, Krystal Leandra, here with the Ghost Girl Diaries podcast. I know there wasn't any intro music. I'm having some weird technical issues on my side. I can't really see if anyone's in or not, so thought I would just pop in. I know usually we wait a little bit longer, but I'll pop the other intro song in when I'll just edit it this time. How is everybody? It's Saturday night. Normally we don't do streams on Saturday night, but yesterday I actually had some construction going on in my house, and if anyone out there has their own house, they know how unfun construction work is. Basically about 2 to 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago actually, I had a pipe burst in one of my bathrooms, and it actually was supposed to be like a really small job, and when they got in there it ended up being like a bigger deal, so they had to end up knocking a wall out in my bathroom. And contractors are so lazy, man. Like, I'm sorry, if you're a contractor out there, it's not anything against you personally. Just, it was just, I've been waiting for this guy for like 2 or 3 weeks to come fix my wall. And I'm like, can you just come fix my wall, please? Like, I have no wall in my bathroom. And he got half of it done yesterday. and did not finish the other half. Said he was going to come today to fix it. He didn't show up again today. Surprise, surprise. So, yeah, that's still ongoing. I'm going to go ahead and just bring in Kat, though. Hey, Miss Kat. How is Miss Kat this evening?
Hello. I'm doing really well. How are you?
How's the East Coast? It's cold still.
Flipping cold. Yeah, I think it's like 12. Yeah, it's like 12 right now.
Oh, my gosh. I bet
I know.
Freezing.
I keep it toasty in the apartment, you know?
I bet.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do with being in Vegas. I'd be like, I'm frozen. I can't live.
Yeah.
I swear.
Sometimes I become a popsicle.
I would not be able to go back to Colorado. I swear it. Like, I would love to have a winter home there, but when I'm done with the cold, just leave. I'm done. You know?
Vegas cold, though, is cold.
It is.
It's genuine. Like, I was that person that was like, I don't know.
It's a different kind of cold.
It is. It's valley cold. Y'all are like right
not
in
to
the
like
hole.
complain because people in Texas have it like way worse right now, but yeah, which my heart goes out to everybody in Texas. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, it makes me sick, the animals that have been dying too, and the people living in their cars, and it's just horrifying. But yeah, the cold in Vegas it's a different cold. It's a desert cold, and like, I remember Kat came out here one winter and she's like, oh, I don't need, a coat. And I was like, okay, well, I think you do, like, she's like, no, it's like 60 degrees. But at night it can drop to like 20. And in the desert cold, like, that freezing stuff comes off the sand, and it is not funny. It is not funny. So, yeah, we have kind of a cool stream today. Originally, we were just going to do Black Eyed Kids, and we're still going to do that chat later on. But something else kind of came up over the last couple days, and I know some of you guys that have, or maybe you missed it on my Instagram story. I had kind of like a moment like 2 nights ago where I was like crying on my Instagram story, and I just thought, you know what, it's good to like show that vulnerable side of you and like things you go through, tough times. I mean, obviously, I think in my book I've showed a lot of vulnerability as well, which P.S. I have it right here. I have my book. Oh, Kat just finished it.
It's so good, you guys. It's so good. It just sucks you right in.
I mean, and there's
it's like watching a reality show.
Thanks. Jeez, it's pretty bad when that's like your real life stories. You're just like, wow. No, there's a couple of like, punctuation things I screwed up in here. But Kat was like, Krystal, you wrote a book. Let it go to Jesus. It
wasn't that noticeable.
I know, but I'm a perfectionist, so I like raked myself over the coals. But it was just stuff like a couple of words were out of place. There wasn't really any misspellings. It was mainly a couple words out of place, and like instead of a comma, it should have been a semicolon. Kat's like, let the semicolon go, Krystal.
I'm just like, you wrote this book in 2 months. Literally.
Oh my God.
It's so great.
Yeah, so I can't wait. Kat made a lot of notes in her book, and so we're gonna have a stream like about that later on. Going over the book, so that'll be kind of cool. There is some paranormal stuff in there too, so because everybody was asking me about that. But going back to, I have talked about what it's like being a female in paranormal and film before, but I feel like I've never really gone into like an in-depth discussion. And there's a couple of reasons I haven't done that till now, and one of the main ones is that I have Kat here who has now been going through it with me, and she also understands what it's like. And I did this by myself for a long time. I was just Ghost Girl by myself, and Kat's now been on the journey with me for what, like, we're going 3 years now, right?
Yeah, it'll be 3 years in July.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
It flew. It
so
flew.
Exciting.
It's so crazy.
Wow, you've changed so much just since like when I first met you. You're just like, I just want to learn everything.
I know. I just love soaking things in like a sponge. So I'm always like, let me do all the tasks. Do them all.
I mean, there's too many, we need to split them up a little. It's true. But she's done awesome. You've done awesome on the journey with me. And I don't know if Kat was even really expecting some of the things that we've ran into, with hiccups. And so I think this is a really good opportunity to not only get my viewpoint of things I've been through since like 2011, being in like some major studio contracts, but also getting Kat's feedback of like sort of being my sidekick. She hasn't been in major contracts, but she's seen all the things I've been doing. She's helped me with negotiations on the side. And it's a complicated mixed bag. And another reason I wanted to bring this up was I have a lot of people recently that have been asking me on social media, like, why isn't why isn't Ghost Girl Diaries signed yet? And I wish it was just that easy, and then of course you hit things like a pandemic happens and just weird things that life throws at you. So I have hit sort of the same wall over and over again with paranormal problems with production and producers and production companies. And I just thought this would be a really good time to kind of chat about that. So as you guys know, 2019 is when we decided to shoot the pilot. We shot it in February of 2019. Actually, it was about end of January into February. And it was a very skeleton crew, because that was really all I could afford. The pilot itself cost me out of pocket about $100,000. So I know a lot of people could go one way or the other. Either, whoa, that's a lot of money, or wow, that's not very much money. And on the film side of things, that's about average for a documentary. Yes, it is a lot of money, and that's why we haven't shot another one, because that's going to take some time to sort of prepare for another round of it. But essentially, even prior to the pilot happening, I've shared on social media and YouTube. I think I've done a couple of videos about having production contracts. I have been in more than I can count. I think the last time I was on YouTube and announced it, I'd been in 7 or 8 different contracts with different production companies and different networks. And some of them fell through. Some of them I backed out of for different reasons. And this time, when I did the pilot, I was going in not just as a cast member being signed, or not just as a producer being signed, but as the executive producer / director of how I'm wanting to create this visual piece, filmography wise. And it was interesting because we ended up submitting the pilot to Sundance. We ended up getting in the finals for Sundance. So essentially they break it down with, I think there's thousands of people that submit to Sundance. And they break it down into sections. So they'll say okay, you've entered into the final 500 pick, then you've entered into the final 200 pick, and they sort of narrow it down that way. So we were in the actual last cut, and then we were cut during the last cut, which we ended up finding out later. The reason we were cut was because budget-wise with film festivals, they sort of look at how much documentaries or films cost, and they sort of have a max on how much they can allot in, because essentially you're going to be signing these documentaries and films to production companies and producers, and they're going to be reimbursing you for the cost of what your film was. So we ended up finding out that we had a really major competitor that we didn't know about, and the major competitor was Taylor Swift. And I can definitely not compete with Taylor Swift's money, for sure. 100%. I don't know who can, honestly. There's not a lot of people that could compete with Taylor Swift's money. So, she had a lot of money to great cameras, great camera techs, obviously, and Netflix ended up picking up the documentary. And we were cut, which is okay. It just sort of means that's not our door. It's not our time. And from there, I ended up I did submit the pilot to several other film festivals that we did enter in. We did get chosen for a lot of those. We did get a lot of people that were interested in signing the series, and I did start negotiating with several companies and production companies to sign Ghost Girl Diaries, the series. And it always sort of ends up the same. And this is the part where I haven't really discussed publicly, and which is where I'm excited for Kat to sort of step in, because how long does one negotiation, Kat? How long does one negotiation take, or can it take?
A long time. I would say even months.
Literally. It can take months. Yeah. And Kat was in there.
And now is worse because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So times that by 10.
Yeah, you have
literally
the production companies, executive producers, people that are willing to sign you, who are on a very limited budget because of the pandemic. They have if you're talking about a millionaire, no matter what side of the spectrum, a millionaire is somebody that does not rely on one source of income. They have several sources of income. And no matter what, one or two sources of their income has been affected by the pandemic in some way. And even though they still have a lot of money, they still own properties, equity, stocks, they're still a millionaire, they still get concerned when one or two of their streams of income is being affected in a negative balance sort of way. And it makes them hesitate from signing another series. It makes them hesitate from handing over what our budget was looking at would be like $1 million for the first season, which actually is not a lot, by the way. If you multiply, if you divide $1 million into 12 episodes, that's about $112,000 per episode, which is pretty typical for a documentary series. You have to pay your camera techs, you have to have travel money, food money, hotel stay money, gas money. I mean, all that stuff adds up. That doesn't include equipment that you need, things like that. And so what happens is, yes, Kat's right. You have already a complicated process, which is negotiations can take place over the course of months. Literally, I would say a minimum of 3 to 4 months usually. And then, unless you have somebody that really is just ready to go and sign you. And then you have the pandemic where these people are hurting financially. And now they're really scared of who they're going to sign, because you're kind of like a bargaining chip of like, okay, if I give you $1 million, will I really get that return investment? And it's very scary for them. Now, if it succeeds, of course, they're going to get a lot of money. Where your money comes from the most when, like, let's say that the series got signed to Travel Channel, the money comes from the commercials. Like, it's funny because I remember a few years ago there was a Ghost Adventures episode and people were pissed because there was like 5 or 6 commercials abnormally long in between each commercial break. And it's because they pay for the filming. Like, they pay everybody, the cast, the crew. Like, Johnson & Johnson, that toilet paper commercial you just saw, they just spent like $4.5 million to have it air during Ghost Adventures primetime. So, they can get a return investment in the end, yes, but there's still like no guarantee, especially during a pandemic, and it's scary. So, sort of fast forward from there, I was in another, I've been in several negotiations from 2020 up until February of 2021. And this last negotiation just sort of ended. And this is how it goes every single time. Every single time. I have a pilot. I'm submitting. Now, having not only the pilot, but I also have a successful YouTube channel with hundreds of videos, thousands of hours worth of content, hundreds of thousands of views, or hundreds of thousands of fans, millions of views. I'm handing a platter to these production companies of something that's already developed. So, therefore, it should be an easy sign. It should be an easy sign. They should see me coming and say, she has a pilot, it looks good. She had audio, she had drone footage, she had everything she needed. She had paranormal evidence. She has this, that. She has a fan base already established. But what ends up happening is I negotiate sort of, an example would be, I want to hold on to 51% and I negotiate the other 49%. And the reason I do that is because I'm still holding on to a majority within my own pocket. I'm still holding on to a majority of control as the executive producer and director. Okay? And then what ends up happening is they're like, yes, this is great. This is it. Yes, this is what we're negotiating. Yep. Okay. You're going to be holding the director title. You're going to be holding executive producer title. You have a plan. Like, I literally have a budget down to the dollar. I have lists and lists of haunted locations. Like, I'm ready to go at the drop of a pen. I have most of the crew. I need to hire some more people, but in order to do that, I need money. And then at the last minute, right as I'm getting ready to sign the dotted line for an actual contract for the series, they come back at me and they say, we've been thinking about this for a few weeks. And what we've decided is, in order for us to sign you, you need to relinquish the 51% so that we are fully in control. And I have a problem with that. And the reason I have a problem with that is I'm the one that has built up Ghost Girl Diaries on YouTube all of these years. No one else did. I'm the one that's created the fan base. I'm the one that's done all of the editing. I'm the one that's done all of the videos by myself. I have an established EP position that should not be taken from me. Control should not be taken from me. Now, as far as negotiating and getting ideas cinematic-wise or like collaborating with producers or EPs on what they want to see, of course I'm going to be open-minded and work with them. But the problem is this happened before. When I was signed with Pilgrim Studios, who is the ones that did Ghost Hunters Academy. Okay, they were kind of creating this show, this series around me, and then it changed at the last minute because at the time I was only signed on for cast. And when that series morphed, it turned into what we all know now as Killer Contact. It plummeted. It had, six episodes, 9 episodes, and it was so bad it didn't get re-signed. Now, if someone was to come in, take control and power over Ghost Girl Diaries, they signed me for 1 season, and it came out looking like shit, and it was not up to my expectations as a producer, as a director, as a paranormal investigator, as an executive producer for all the work that I've put in all of these years. And we released that first season, and it's total shit, and it plummets, and I don't get re-signed. My career is over. Everything I've worked for on YouTube since 2013 when I created the channel will go to shit. And that is something I'm not willing to risk. And so then I end up being the one saying I will not relinquish more than that percentage. And by the way, they never give me a real reason why they want full control. And I've also had, tests in the past where I've gotten in production contracts with companies and producers and networks, and they end up leaving me in contract for years, not touching the series. It never gets signed. It never does anything. We never shoot anything. And then I'm stuck in contract, and I have to get a lawyer and get out of the contract. So when I get that intuitional, gut feeling, I have to back out. But, with that being said, and I've told Kat this numerous times, and I'm going to let Kat tangent for a minute because I know she has a lot to say. Mm-hmm. I know for a absolute fact that if I was a man, I would have been signed already. These producers and old Hollywood money, production companies, even networks are all backed by old white men. And they find me extremely problematic for being a female, thinking I can come in. They don't believe women have brains. They don't think that girls can budget correctly with a series. They don't think that I'm knowledgeable with film, even though I've just provided them with a pilot that's amazing and blew them out of the water. It's a gender issue, and it sucks because we're in an era where we've heard, the film industry's changing, we're going to make it more about women. Yes, they're trying, but it's not happening fast enough. And, not only am I a female wanting to be an executive producer or director, but it's of a paranormal genre. I'm in a genre where that doesn't even exist. You have Amy Bruni, who's an EP. It's not really the same thing because she started out with Ghost Hunters. It's not the same thing. I'm a fresh newbie coming out on my own, and it's we don't know if we trust you. You're a girl. That's really what it comes down to. And it's obvious, because if you look at the paranormal genre itself, you have 1 female to every 10 investigators that are on television? That's a 10 percentile. So, Kat, I'm going to let you take over from everything. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that it's just very frustrating to have this continuously happen on, Krystal's path, and for any woman for that matter. I think that especially in Krystal's position where she already has an established fan base, like she said before, a very successful platform on YouTube, on Twitch, the podcasts now, fan bases and things like that. She not only has that, but she has Travel Channel. Mm-hmm. She has, producer credits being with Pilgrim, working on other paranormal, major sets. And it's unfortunate because, especially from the feminism side of things, we just want equality. We just want equality. You know what I mean? Like, equal recognition is, I guess, a great way to put it. And we went above and beyond. Krystal went above and beyond to give, you know, these networks the information that they needed, even more information than what they asked for. And because she's a woman, it's not going to be enough. And I don't know what that means. I'm not too sure if they, for some reason, feel like it's demasculating when there's a woman that's successful and confident in, like, what she's pitching and doing and has the credentials to do that. But it is extremely frustrating because it is hard, you know, and that's why Krystal got emotional a couple of days ago. Was this has been a long journey of the same patterns happening, and that is so frustrating for all of the hard work that, you know, she does and she puts into GGD with social media and with content preparation and, you know, making sure that you guys are also, you know, welcome and being told how much of a support you are. And, you know, it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of undertaking that she does. And I don't know. I don't know what the problem is here, other than the fact that she's too overqualified, to be totally honest. It's sad. And it's frustrating because it just makes you feel like they want you to give up.
Well, and something I've heard
mean?
over and over again that and this is, I think, one of the first times I've ever said this, like, really, really publicly. But something that I hear from producers, production companies, even networks over and over again is, you know, Zach is the image of paranormal. He is a white guy with tattoos, muscles, perfect hair, too tight of shirts, and he looks like he could fight a demon. Like, literally, like, that's the image that they would like the tough guys because you're going after the demons. And then I have literally guys like verbatim, this is what I'm going to tell you. And I've heard it from multiple producers, multiple networks, multiple production companies. And they always say this to me, to my face: Krystal, I get what you're trying to do. The problem is that you do your makeup and you have the face of a porn star, and you're not going to be taken seriously as a paranormal investigator. So you just need to give it up. And then I've also been told that maybe if you start in OnlyFans, or maybe if you go into porn first, then we could move you over to paranormal. But you'd have to get some sort of, like, sexually based, like, men, like, awing after you in order to become something. And you know what my response is? You don't see guys slinging their wahoos around to try to get where they're at. Like, Zach didn't get signed by slinging his D everywhere out publicly. Why do I have to do that? You know? And it's, and on, by the way, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. And it's offensive when someone tells you look like a porn star. Like, no offense to porn stars and people on OnlyFans. Do you, boo? You're an entrepreneur, girl. You get it. But that is not who I am. I'm not a porn star. I'm not going into porn. I'm not going into OnlyFans. I'm not here, like, trying to sell my body for money. That's not me. I'm here as a, you know, filmmaker. I want to be taken serious as a filmmaker. And I want to be a producer, and I want to be a paranormal investigator. I don't want to be a porn star. That's not the point of this. And I mean, that goes all the way back, guys, to 2011 when I was on Paranormal Challenge, and I made friends with Dave Schrader. Him and I don't speak anymore. There's a lot of personal problems that happened with that relationship, friendship. But what Dave Schrader told me was, you'll never be who you want to be, Krystal. You will never make it because of the way you look. They either want the girl next door like Chris Williams. They don't want a girl that's empowered with makeup, looking like a porn star, walking in trying to be a paranormal investigator. So I've heard that since practically day one. So in other words, I think I just caught like a lucky break getting on Paranormal Challenge. And even back then, I haven't even taken my, I was asked to tone down my physical appearance a little bit more when I was on set. And so it's just been something I've been fighting, for a long time. It is. And that's why when I brought in, even Chanel, when Chanel was with us, I wanted to bring in powerful females. Elfie joined us from Paranormal State. That's badass. I wanted to bring in powerful women. Kat's a badass. Why do you have to, like, and I know we're in an area of the Kardashians. I understand that Kim Kardashian made her family what it is because she sold a sex tape, and a lot of people in Generation Millennial and Generation Z are now taking that same route with OnlyFans. Why do I have to be one of them? I don't want to be one of them. It's not that I have a problem showing my body. It's just that's not who I am. And I shouldn't have to negotiate it.
No, and it shouldn't even be a topic of conversation. Like, that, if that's their only excuse, that's a pretty shitty one, in my opinion.
It is. To
be blunt. You know, it's wrong. I think that's unprofessional for all the success and money that they have. And, you know, it's hard, guys, because it's a constant battle for GGD and for Krystal. But the work never stops. And to break these barriers in the film industry, and especially in paranormal, it takes a hard road like this. It takes a hard road like this, and it is going to happen. Guaranteed, it will happen, you guys. This is going to happen someday. The series will be signed, and, you know, but it's just hard. Like, when these things happen, or you get kind of slapped in the face with that curveball of, wow, they're making it sound really good, and then all of a sudden they say, no, I need more control. And it's like, why? I just literally gave you everything on a golden platter.
Well, and Zach even presented his stuff before he had a fan base. I mean, he did the documentary back in the day. So, like, I'm presenting something that people don't even have, which is I already have a fan base. I already have something established. It's a big thing. It's millions of views I got by myself. If I can get millions of views by myself on a YouTube channel, imagine what I can create if I actually had my own series. And by the way, I've always wanted to go to streaming. I've always wanted to be on the streaming side, whether it's Netflix. I get worried because they always cancel their episodic television series after like 4 seasons because they can't afford it. So I do get concerned with going to Netflix. But now that like Discovery Plus is on, that is where I feel like I need to be, is under the Discovery umbrella on Discovery Plus, not Travel Channel, not on cable. I want to be on Discovery Plus. But, you know, with that, you also look at other girls in paranormal to use as examples, and you can tell they've gone through the same thing. Elfie literally was like, didn't do anything after Paranormal State because it's just so hard. You know, then you have, it's hard. It's hard being a girl in paranormal. Well, it's hard.
And you know what's, I keep getting like triggered, and then like I get caught on like headphones.
I'm triggered.
I'm like, Aries. But, you know, even outside of YouTube, you guys, like, yes, like, you know Krystal from YouTube and from, you know, Travel Channel, whatever. But she has, like, legit film credentials. Like, she went to film school. She's been on major sets. She knows people in the industry. Like, this is even bigger than just, like, the YouTube thing, you know, which is why it's shocking. Why they still will not allow her to do her thing.
But then you look at Chris Williams, who was on Ghost Hunters. Mm-hmm. She quit Ghost Hunters because she had such big problems with the producers and production company trying to sexualize her. She never really said that publicly, but I was with Pilgrim and heard things and knew what was going on behind the scenes. She quit and said she never wanted to be a part of any paranormal show ever again. Now, she could have changed her mind by now. But, like, that's how one girl was treated. And Chris Williams is probably the prettiest girl in paranormal, like, you know, being a girly girl. And, like, she's like, no, I'm done with this. Then you have Katrina, who was with Nick Groff on all of his different shows, or Paranormal Lockdown. She's been thrown around with Jack Osborne. She's been on so many different shows. And the reason is because she knows she has to take whatever opportunity gets thrown at her because she's a woman. And then it makes her look not so good because now she's been thrown around to 8 different paranormal series. And she's like, all she wants to do is be successful in one, I'm sure. And then this one fails, and then she goes to this one, and then Jack Osborne has another series, and she's all over the place. And it sucks. I feel bad for her. It's not her fault. It's, you know, it is that old saying of don't drink from every cup or you'll get poisoned. That's why I don't just sign to every contract that comes my way, because 99% of them are not going to be for me. They're not going to be what I need, and they're not going to be the longevity and success of Ghost Girl Diaries and what it needs to be able to grow and flourish. And Katrina is a perfect example. She was with, you know, Jack, and then she was with Nick, and now what's she doing? Nothing. So she's going to be sitting around waiting for Travel Channel to call her to just cast her again. She won't be a producer. She'll be cast again, and she'll keep signing whatever she can because that's the only opportunity that she has as a female in this industry. Not everyone's been able to be as picky and choosy as I've been this whole time because I already have a backup of the YouTube channel, thank God. But, now going back to the other night when I got really emotional on Instagram, I just want to talk about that really quick because I want to make it kind of clear. So I got emotional on Instagram. I showed a video. I was watching one of the Ghost Adventures new episode, the newest episode. What is it called, Kat?
The Brujeria?
Yes.
Episode?
I think so. And he basically all of a sudden pans over to this female camera tech and he goes, she's been working for us for a really long time and we decided to bring her on like permanent full-time with us. And my jaw hit the floor. I thought I was going to throw up everywhere, but not for the reasons you may think. You might think I got upset because he hired her and not me. That's not the reason. First of all, she hasn't been working with them for a while. She's only been with them since 2020 because we looked her up on IMDb Pro. Okay. Mm-hmm. But the reason I got sick is because he's behind. How many seasons are they in? 26 seasons? This is the first female they've hired for their crew. I'm not talking about Ashley Wasley, their photographer. A actual female crew member. It took them 26 seasons to bring on a female? Why? Why did it take that long? Because now suddenly we're in like a feminist movement. And honestly, when I first started my paranormal channel, I didn't even know it was going to turn into this. I didn't know I was going to be facing so many things as a girl. My attitude in the beginning was like, I'm a girl, so what? I can do it. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do what guys can do? So what? And then I just realized I was going to hit barrier after barrier after barrier. And it's crazy because I was not expecting that. But that's okay. It gave me another reason, another drive, another purpose. Like you think of your nephew, your nieces and your granddaughters and your daughters, you want them to be able to succeed for the same reasons. They want to grow up and be a paranormal investigator. Like, don't let anything stop them. Like, nothing should be stopping them from doing what they love. So I realized my journey on this path was more than just a filmmaker. It was more than just a paranormal investigator. It was to help pave the path and change things for future generations of girls out there. And so when I got emotional the other day, I was upset for another reason too. Like, Zach, it's not an uncommon thing that Zach has taken some of my ideas. Okay, everybody knows that. He got my booze and reviews idea and then he turned it into, what was it called? Ghost Adventure Screaming Room. Yeah, he's taken some of my ideas, like whatever, we were friends in real life. We have not spoken a year, and I've also talked it publicly regarding him saying like he should have hired female camera tech or something a long time ago. I'm glad he finally did. I don't know why it took this long, but I'm glad. But when I was crying on Instagram, I was literally mourning the genre of paranormal for women. I was literally mourning the fact that it has to be this hard. I was mourning that it takes 26 seasons for a girl to be a part of a major TV paranormal show. It should not take that long. It shouldn't. And on top of that, where are all the other ones now? Like, where are the doors opening for all the other ones? Like, it's just, it makes me sick. Like, and I know Chelsea's a part of Dakota's show. Not the same thing. Dakota worked with Zach. He brought in his sister. It's just different. That's one of those situations. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But then on the flip side, a lot of people, this is something I haven't talked about either. A lot of people, fans per se, were pushing me to submit my pilot to Zach. I did. I submitted it to him as one of my last resorts. It was after I got in all of the film festivals. Now, personally, I wasn't expecting anything back in return. I wasn't in this industry is a dog-eat-dog world. You don't expect anything back in return. But I was at a point where I thought, what the hell? What do I have to lose? Send him a copy of the pilot. I did send him a copy of the pilot. It was met with absolute silence, and I was completely ghosted after that. And I reached out a couple more times as a friend. We were supposed to be cool. And remember, like, taken in mind, the reason I submit it to him is he introduces me to people as like, oh, she knows her shit. Like, she knows what she's doing. Like, she knows her shit. And so I thought, okay, well, like, he thinks highly of me. Like, I was on his show. I've always given credit where credit's due. I've always given credit to learning production aspects from him and learning from him on set and watching him in person and understanding how his mind works and applying those things. And I've always given, like, complete gratitude for being able to learn from him and my time with Pilgrim and other studios. But I was hoping, I guess the only thing in return I really wanted was him to be like, that was, I can't do anything about it, but like, congratulations, good job. Like, I was a part of, my journey was with him. It started with him. And I just wanted, maybe thinking he could give it to somebody he knows at the network if he wasn't interested. Like, I don't know. I was not expecting to be met with silence, and I was not expected to be ghosted after that. And it's been that way since. And
shocking.
It was shocking.
It was shocking. We know he got it because we saw it was red.
Yeah.
So it wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe he just didn't check or whatever. No, it was like as soon as it was sent. Yeah. So,
and I don't know what's going on in his personal life. Once again, I wasn't expecting to get signed. I was not expecting that. I think I was more expecting on a friend level a congratulations or like good job or like I'm proud of you or some like little. It didn't really need to be like I need a contract. And instead it was just nothing. And then now like no contact, no communication whatsoever. So then it's like, is everybody threatened by me? Is everybody threatened by me? Because I really do, like, I've known Zach, and I feel like he's the kind of person to be like, this is shit. Like, you did a shit job. And then instead it was just silence and ghosted, but yet he's taking all of my ideas and turning them into his own series on Travel Channel. And it's just strange. Like, I feel like I'm in a strange position. I feel like I'm looking everything from the outside, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's very, very out-of-body experience, I feel like. When the pilot was done and we were in the process of like submitting it to X amount of people and everywhere we could, we figured that just adding Zach to the mix would be great, and then just continue on with our options. It's not like we were riding on him or anything.
No,
like
I wasn't. I was not.
From a professional standpoint, to even just not hear anything was just kind of base, in my opinion, from an outside opinion. And it's just disappointing. It's really disappointing. Because there was a lot of hard work that was put into that, and he knows that, and he's watched Krystal put in the work for what she does, to the point where he literally vouches for her, like, and everything. So I'm not too sure what it is. I have no idea what it is when it comes to women in the industry. And I actually find it really interesting, too, because if you notice in paranormal specifically, especially on Travel Channel, I don't think I've ever seen a show where there's been more than one woman in a crew.
Never.
And I think there's
even
a reason for that.
when Chris Williams and Amy Bruni were in Ghost Hunters, they never were together. They were always separate. And when I was with Pilgrim, like on set and like listening, learning, like from the producers, production companies, they didn't want them to work together. They would keep them as separated as possible.
Yeah, and I think that there's a reason for that from the production company's standpoint. I think that they think that we aren't as smart as we are.
Exactly.
And I think that they think there's strength in numbers. Mm-hmm. And that when a bunch of strong, successful women in paranormal say, you know what, we're ready for this change, which is exactly what Krystal's doing on her own, by the way, that's threatening to them. That's demasculinizing for some reason, that they can't rein us in, and it's just not acceptable. And we're in 2021 now, okay? Like, I think we need to just start being more progressive and moving forward with these things and allowing opportunities with people that have worked hard for them. Mm-hmm. So it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, but it's going to continue on. It's going to continue on. Nothing's stopping. We're going to keep going, and
I do have my bad days. I have my bad days. And Kat picks me up. She knows how to pick me up, I have my days where I'll have negotiations going on, and I'm, like, so excited. I'm like, this is good. This is good. Now, I've never been like, this is it. This is totally it. Now, this last one, there was one recently that I thought was going to be it. Like, I was convinced I was done finally, and it fell through again. Mm-hmm. I'm human. I have my days where I'm tired, like, the thought, the reason I'm going to submit or I'm going to put the pilot on YouTube is because I've ran it into the ground as far as I can. You can only try to attempt to sell a pilot in the first year that it's done. And now we're going on 2 years old, and I can't sell it now. And I also can't sell it because Chanel is in it, because she's no longer with us, as you guys know. So I'm going to release the pilot for that reason. But the thought of having to go back out and shoot another pilot is just exhausting. It's exhausting because I've done it. I've done it a few times. I've done it over and over again. And the problem is it's not like I'm not getting... The problem would be is if I was shooting pilots and I wasn't getting negotiations. Like, that would be a problem. Because, like, there's a lot of filmmakers out there that will do documentaries, do scripted films, and they won't get shit for negotiations. Nothing. So I'm not, like, sitting here trying to be ungrateful. I'm very grateful. Obviously, I'm extremely versed at this point in negotiations because I've done so many of them. But none of them lead to be where it needs to go. And it's because I think having a female crew, having me, where you can't push me around knowing what I want. Like, there's a difference between, like, oh, Krystal, we can only give you $500,000 to shoot, not $1 million. So that's fine. Like, you work it out. But that's not even the negotiations. That's a normal negotiation. Like, if there was a male that was running this, they would be like, okay, we can give you $800,000, not the $1 million you're asking for. And instead, we're going to do 10 episodes instead of 12. That's a negotiation rather than the $1 million I'm asking for in the 12 episodes. What I'm getting is, no, we just want control. Period.
Yeah. And all the, from what I've been noticing, just from the outside, it seems that if these production companies are going to involve women in the process, it's with women that have no idea what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Women that don't know about the industry, that will just sign their name on the dotted lines because they know what to say. And that's just sad. It's wrong of them to be doing that because, any women that's getting involved in this type of industry, has some form of experience, maybe not in film. Mm-hmm. So to just see them be used and abused like that it's just disgusting. It's mm-hmm. disgusting. Mm-hmm.
It's sad. Sometimes I have hard days where I tell Kat, like, am I just ahead of my time? Am I too ahead of my time? Where, like, 2021, this isn't it. Guys, like, I was on Paranormal Challenge in 2011, started YouTube 2013. This has been an ongoing battle for 10 years this year. This has been a long battle, and it's not over yet. And I'm getting older, like, there's some days where I'm like, should I just quit and, like, find a spouse and have kids and, like, start my life? Like, I've been chasing this dragon for 10 years. Like, most people would be like, damn, bitch, I would have gave up a long time ago, But there's another side of me, too, that's like, I know there's more to this. Like, I know that I could be, if it's taken me this long to get to this point, I can't imagine somebody else starting now. It's going to take them just as long or longer, like, holy crap. Like, I'm trying to, like, create something, be a trailblazer for future generations of girls in paranormal. And being a woman and being taken, I'm going to start getting emotional. That's something that Dave Schrader said to me. And it replays in my mind sometimes when I'm having bad days, which is, Krystal, nobody's going to take you serious because of the way you look. You're too girly. Like, the only kind of girls they want in paranormal is Girl Next Door or, like, the girls with the t-shirt, jeans, and the hoodie. Who says I can't crawl in a crawl space in platforms? I've done it before. Kat's seen it. I've crawled in an attic with platforms. Like, I can't. Why? I wear my Doc Martens. I'm not going to wear heels up a ladder. I'm not stupid. Just because I'm a female, I'm not dumb, like, but it's like that replays in my head. Like, Dave Schrader said that, like, no one's going to ever take you serious as a paranormal investigator because of the way you look. And when I have my bad days, that fucking voice just replays in my head. And it sucks. It sucks because I have my bad days. And the other day I had a bad day. And it was because I was just mourning the fact that it shouldn't be taking this long. It shouldn't be taking this long. And people are frustrated because they're like, why aren't you getting the series signed? Dude, I'm trying. Like, I've had so many negotiations. Like, I'm trying. Ask Kat. She's seen it. She's bear witness. She's been in on negotiations with me. I had to send her in on a conference call for me one day with a group of producers, and she's never done it before. And she's like, I'm going to do it. I had something. I think it was my mom was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And Kat had to do it for me. And, like, Kat went in there, and she freaking did it. But, that's the other thing. You get people that are like, oh my god, you guys know about film and paranormal? Because you think about it, a lot of people are either filmmakers or paranormal investigators. The two don't mesh together. And when we talk about, oh, no, we know about film, we know about pre-production, production, post-production, oh, and we also understand the scientific side of electromagnetic fields and everything that's involved with, creating plasma and energy, they're like, whoa, we're intimidated. You're girls, you're blonde, where are the blonde jokes starting? I've had producers that will just start throwing blonde jokes at me. And I'm sitting there like, where did that come from? I'm talking, I think I'm eloquent with my words. I'm talking about signing a series. I'm talking about a production, and you're throwing blonde jokes at me? I think I definitely don't fit the stigma of a blonde joke whatsoever.
No, because they just want to sit there and they want to, put women down. Still, we're a joke to people. We're a joke to people.
I didn't know it was going to go this way. I really didn't. I swear I didn't. Yeah. I swear. Because, when I quit Pilgrim, it was when I told you, I've talked about this story, is the very last day I was taken in a room full of men in suits. It was all men. And it was 15 men sitting at this oval table in this conference room. And I was saying I was wanting to quit the series. And this was before Killer Contact was being shot. I was literally getting ready to leave for England the following day. And I had this gut feeling to not do it because Killer Contact turned out to be such a joke. And I went in, I called my EP, and I was like, I have to quit. I need to cancel my contract. I can't do this. So he had my assistant drive me back to the studio, and it was in a room full of 25 men wearing suits, millionaires. And they all sat around mocking me, making fun of me, saying, you're not going to be anybody. If you don't take this opportunity, you're just going to end up back in the kitchen like every other woman does. And I didn't know that was going to be the very first start of a very long journey that I was going to be on. I didn't know. I had no idea. Even when I started YouTube, didn't even know YouTube was going to do anything. I didn't know people were going to love my reviews. I had no idea. I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I first started YouTube. I just knew I was going to do it. And then, I start getting these offers in from production companies, and it just kept winding back to that same conversation of just women belong in the kitchen. And I'm like, damn, is this 2019 or is this 1944? Because damn, my grandma grew up in the Depression and she doesn't even talk like this. Are we still that far back?
It's it just kind of makes me nauseous, not gonna lie. Every time it's mentioned or it happens, misogyny makes me want to vom. It makes me want to vom.
But I can't believe I'm taking on that narrative.
Yeah.
Because although I was raised by a very strong single mom, I never thought I was going to be taking on that narrative feminism and against misogyny. Because I never really had to deal with it that much in my life. Even in my book, I talk about my godfather is the one that stepped in as my father and raised me. And he was the manliest dude you'd ever meet. He was in the army. He was buff. He was huge. He was 6'4". He worked on cars. He taught me how to work on cars. He was from the military, so he was into all the gruff guy stuff. He had this huge beard. He wore a bandana. He's so dude-ish. But he was don't ever let society teach you can't be equal to me just because I look differently than you. And so I just grew up thinking that. And so then when I'm hit with all of these barriers and blockades of having the same problem over and over again, I cannot believe I'm living this narrative, honestly, because I was not expecting it to. I was never, I'm still not really a hardcore feminist. I just want equality. I'm not going to go around totally preaching about it because it is. You should be equal. But then when you're hitting all these brick walls with I'm being stopped with progressing and being what I want to be, even though I have more than enough to offer everyone, which is a pilot and an entire YouTube channel, I'm still being thrown under the bus because I have a vagina?
Yeah.
That's why? Because of my girly parts?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
And the makeup and your hair, and they're just gonna pick you apart. What if a blonde guy walked into a room? You know what I mean? What? It shouldn't matter.
Well, I mean, it all goes back to the narrative of I look like a porn star and no one's gonna take you serious in your genre. So pick something else. I've actually had producers be like, "Oh, I can get you into acting. I can get you you're gorgeous, Krystal. We'll get you on as an extra, or even we'll get you casting in with movies." Like, I have a spot for you. Like, we can get you in movies right now. And I'm like, but I don't want to be an actor.
Yeah.
You would think that being a paranormal investigator would be easier because I'm not in acting school. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, no, you can't do that. People aren't going to take you serious. It's a masculine world, and you're too girly for it. And you're a porn star. I'm so sick of being told I look like a porn star. My God, I'm so over that. Oh my God, I'm so over that. Like, you can't. My eyes, like, if I roll them back one more time, I'll see my brain.
You're gonna get stuck. Literally, it's crazy to me. And what's even crazier is the success of, you know, having these negotiations, and, you know, it is worthy of being signed. But it's just the same freaking narrative every time.
Well, and like Kat even said, maybe you should propose a question, and I do. And I was invited on the set for Ghost Adventures Cecil Hotel. I was called by some of the producers that work at Travel Channel. I mentioned it briefly in my new Cecil review video, but only briefly. And basically, the producers saw my video, and they wanted me to come in and like help with like data fact checking, because I had so many facts in that video that I was like spurting off, because I'm a researcher, right? Like, I'm an investigator. That's part of the job, is like you have to do your work. Like, you can't have to be spouting out the truth. And I declined it immediately. I didn't know at the time it was for Ghost Adventures. But then the producer starts getting involved with me, and she's like, oh my God, like, I've watched your show, I've watched your series, and it's just like, dang, I think we want to sign you. I think we want to sign you to Travel Channel. I can't tell you how many producers I've had come to me from Travel Channel claiming they want to sign me. And then they end up attempting to get information out of me, like how I shoot, what my goal, what my agenda is with the series. And I'm always like, sign an NDA first, and then we'll chat. And then they ghost me again. They ghost me. Mm-hmm. Because I know how to do things the right way.
Yeah.
Sign an NDA, and then I'll show you the pilot. Sign an NDA, I'll give you the trailer. I'll give you the information that you want. And
they've taken a lot of information from Krystal.
Obviously.
From meetings.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would say there's a lot of proof of that.
They've copied a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. For a while, every time I would post a video, the following few weeks, you'd see a new episode somewhere of a video that I'd just done of random locations that are haunted out of nowhere, and then suddenly they're going there to investigate whoever, not necessarily Ghost Adventures. So, yeah, that's it. You know, I just kind of wanted to share it. And I mean, the last question is, you know, if I have everything that they supposedly say they want, and more, which is a pilot, I have an executive summary. I have an extremely detailed budget. Ask Kat; she's helped me add it up. You know, it's no small, you know, to-do list to add $1 million budget, guys. Like, that's not a small task to add something that adds up to $1 million. I have trailers. I have sizzle reels. I have everything on a platter, including a YouTube channel. Millions of views, fan base. What more can I give you? What else do you want? I can't change myself from being a girl. You know what I mean? Like, if that's how it comes out, I can't.
I don't even think there is nothing else to give them. I would be curious if a question would ever be thrown at them at some point, and being like, oh, I don't understand, like, what more do you need from me? Mm-hmm. And if they would be able to answer.
One thing I want to see stop is I don't want to hear anybody else ask me to submit my pilot to Zach. Because people have been saying I should do that for years, and I didn't, out of respect of our friendship, and then I did, and then the friendship ended. So please don't ask me about it anymore. I have no answers. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't care what's going on in his personal life. I don't know what caused it, what didn't cause it. I don't know why the communication stopped. That was another reason why I wanted to stop doing Ghost Adventures reviews, was because I think I've given him enough press, and having a friendship goes two ways. And you can't force someone to be your friend, which I never wanted that. I've always cheered him on, and I just sort of expected it back in return, because I feel like friendships should be equal. So if that friendship ever does get rekindled, It'll have to be on his side reopening that door. It won't be coming from my side. And if it does, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not hurt either way. I just know that I have a job that I need to keep trying to do. And I'm going to keep trying. I don't know if and when I'll give up. Kat and I are actually discussing, we're throwing around pre-production ideas right now. And she's wanting to come out and shoot another pilot, except with pretty much just the two of us. I'd love Elfie to be involved, but we haven't even presented her with that idea yet. Location-wise, it would have to be somewhere sort of close and doing another pilot. Cameras change. Like, we need new cameras now. We've done it in a couple of years now. We need new cameras, and we're wanting to do black magic cameras, and that's going to be $2,000, $3,000 for each camera. I'm going to need at least two of them. So that's another $6,000 budget I'm going to have to come up with. Like, people don't realize, like, you can't just go shoot a pilot. Like, you don't just get up and walk out to shoot a pilot. There's planning, there's contracts involved with the location, equipment that needs to be purchased, prepping that needs to be done. So yes, we're in the very early stages of throwing around shooting another pilot idea, but nothing's in stone yet. And it's a road, and I know it's about the journey, not the destination, but I cannot lie and say that I'm not getting tired. I'm tired of the same effing narrative over and over again of Krystal, just go be a porn star. Krystal, just give up. Nobody's going to take you serious. Yes, we're going to sign you, and then last minute be like, well, we'll only sign you if you relinquish, a majority of the production company / power and control over to us. And I'm just like, man, I hope I'm not ahead of my time. I hope I'm not.
Yeah.
It's
a lot.
It is.
It's a lot to undertake, and, it's, even when it seems like there's walls right now, energetically, they are also being broken through.
Mm-hmm.
But that's hard to think like that in the midst of feeling like, will this ever end?
Well, where the podcast is going great. I can't complain about that. The YouTube channel's up and running. Great. Good. That's great news. But, like, shooting and editing another pilot, guys. P.S. People are mad at me for not disclosing the Cecil, whatever, documentary on Netflix and comparing it to Ghost Adventures. That's a different review, guys. Come on. Like, people have these expectations out of me that they want to see all these reviews, they want to see this, they want to see that, and I'm like, there's one of me right now. Like, there's a crew of 3 of us currently. It's Kat, me, and Elfie, and I do 90% of it. And so, the thought of shooting another pilot and why aren't you signed? It's just not that easy. I get those questions every day on social media. Why aren't you signed? Why aren't you signed? So anyway, I think it's being honest. I'm not trying to be negative or dark. I just feel like it's time to educate you guys on the true side of the struggles that we've encountered for a really long time. And I am blessed that I'm not in it alone now, that I do have Kat here to support me. But she's been like, damn, I didn't realize how hard this was.
It's an ugly world. I'm just saying. I'm glad I'm not in that room with her when she's negotiating, because my Aries would be like, excuse me, sir. I think you need to take a seat, boo. All right? And let me tell you what's going to happen, okay? It's fine. It's fine. Oh, so just annoying. So frustrating. So frustrating.
Yeah, the porn star thing's not going to work out. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my gosh. Why am I laughing? It's not funny.
It's just not going to happen.
It's not funny.
Sorry.
Gosh.
Maybe when it was like maybe 10 years ago, like I feel like, no, I'm just kidding.
Stop. Oh my gosh, I can't.
All right, let's smooth into Black Eyed Kids really quick and get on a paranormal talk for a few. So the Black Eyed Children thing, you like went down a super dark rabbit hole with this.
Yep.
And I mean, I think, first of all, do you think they're real?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
So there's a few different ways that people talk about black-eyed kids. So essentially there's some black-eyed children stories that say you're sitting in your car at night eating Wendy's leftovers or whatever, and you're in the car and someone comes and knocks on your window, and it's a kid with a hoodie with complete dark eyes, and they're asking you to get in the car, unlock your car. And essentially the legend goes that they cannot enter unless you give them permission. Okay? Now, that, I was kind of like, nah, but then there's been some other cases where people have claimed that they've had, their door has been knocked on. It's children. The children have very dark eyes where there's no, like, white parts distinct. And the children say, my parents are coming to pick me up. Can we just come in till they get here? And the people let them in. And what ends up happening is these, adults that let them in end up getting sort of sick with like a radiation poisoning, and they end up getting like weird different types of cancers, which I find really interesting. So that would be related to like UFO, paranormal, alien phenomena, right? So if there's high levels of radiation around them, which is said it's found at UFO sites, there's high levels of radiation. So I find that really, when I started hearing those stories, I was like, okay, this is kind of compelling. This I could believe more than like just a random kid knocking on your car door. And then the other one is, there was this really compelling video that came out of the UK. And this guy basically had bought, it's on YouTube if you guys want to find it. I don't have the link. If you Google it, you'll find it. But essentially it's this guy in the UK. He's he purchased a drone. He wanted to take his drone out to fly like randomly. And he took his drone around this like haunted forest that's in the UK. And as he dips down, he actually ends up seeing like this little girl in a white nightgown emerge from the trees. She's not looking at the drone, but she has dark black eyes, like there's no whites. And why is there a little girl in like an 1800s dress walking through the forest by herself in the middle of nowhere? There's like seemingly nobody around. So that area, that forest is known for having black-eyed children prominent, and like people have had like encounters with them. So that was another one that I found really interesting. So what do you think about it, Kat?
I found it interesting when they were talking about some of the like features of these black-eyed children as well, because one of them was reported to have had like talon-like feet.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So I think of like talons as like 3 toes, right? Like 3 whatever, and then I think of like alien feet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like little like ET feet or something like that. I'm like, ooh,
how
that's
cute!
Crazy.
I think that's cute.
It is kind of cute. Okay, I'm not crazy for feeling that.
I loved ET. Oh my god!
Little alien feet.
Yes.
It's just, it's cute. But yeah, there was this one encounter that happened in Texas, and this guy named, I'm trying to find him here, Brian Bethel. He was actually on an episode of Monsters and Mysteries, and he talks about his experience in his car. So he had one of the car situations where he had like 2 kids that were outside of the car in like hoodies, but he could see that their eyes were completely black, and they kept telling him like, we're not going to hurt you type of scenario, and then like they disappeared.
You just need to let me in the car. And like, so, and by the way, these black-eyed children don't usually hurt people. Like there's stories like they don't hurt people, they don't harm you, but it must be some sort of like a universal law of like you can't enter unless you get permission. And I think the reason that is maybe they do know that there's high radiation frequency coming off of them. So, that which could hurt or harm humans as we know it. That's just like, you learn like x-ray techs and people who work in like the x-ray department, they have to be really careful. And when they take x-rays, they have to remove themselves from the room, because if they have too much contact with radiation, it can end up harming you like really badly. So it's just, I do find really interesting. I really do. But some people, I hate to say it, but the stories go, it seems to be older people that end up letting them in. So it seems like maybe like senior citizens or like adults, like older adults, end up being like feeling bad. Like this little kid's standing out in the cold and he's asking to come in. And like they literally stay inside. Now, some have said that when they leave, they walk out the door and they'll see like this huge like white flash of a light, which to us could be a spaceship, UFO, whatever. But they never actually see how they leave. And sometimes people will actually like black out when the child says, well, my parents are here, I'm leaving, and they'll literally like black out. So once again, it makes you wonder if is it the ET phenomena? Is it the Men in Black phenomena thing? Where you're like flashed and you like forget what you're doing, or you know what I mean, like whatever, till you wake up later.
And that's another really interesting thing too, because there was another incident that happened with an elderly couple, and they let them in to the house, and as soon as they let them in, the elderly man started to have a bloody nose.
Yes, yeah.
And like really weird like things started happening around the house and all of that. And then when the kids said that our parents were here, it was reported that when the kids left the house, they opened the door but like didn't touch it, and the door was left open, and as they were walking out, they saw that they were walking towards two very tall and slender men, like men, and I immediately thought, oh my god, Men in Black.
Which that's a negotiation too. Some people say Men in Black are just UFO officials that are like on cases of aliens. Other people say the Men in Black are aliens.
I think they are.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I think anything could exist at this point. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just, it is an uneasy thing. And it always says that when these people have these encounters where like they knock on the door or knock on the car door, is that they're feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. I think that is just high levels of electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily them doing anything harm. I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I'm sure, I mean, there's good humans and bad humans. So I assume there's the same thing with aliens. There's good aliens and bad aliens. You know what I mean? But with high electromagnetic fields, like think about it when we're in haunted locations, Kat, and like you feel, you feel it like in the energy change, like you know when the electromagnetic fields are high.
Yep.
Like it changes you. Kat leaves. She's like, bye, I'm leaving. She'll turn around and walk out.
There's your comment.
The blackened out eyes. So do you think that they almost have like, they're like wearing like an alien skin or something weird to like, or like a human skin?
Or like
to like
human skin?
Yeah.
I think they are. And I think that they do walk among us. Like, I'm not saying black-eyed kids just them, but I do think that they live among us.
Oh,
in
I mean,
like human form, because
right.
they think we're gonna like panic if we see them in their true form.
I mean, after 2020, I don't think anything's panicable at this point. You know what I mean? Like, pandemic. That's like, you know, the government released the aliens and UFOs exist, and everyone was like, yeah, whatever. We're in a pandemic.
We're like, we knew.
We don't care.
What is that guy? Stephen Greer? I have to look back and see when he predicted or was told when the
fake alien invasion?
Fine. Yes, when the alien invasion was going to happen.
He did a podcast on it like a week or two ago.
Oh, that's weird.
And he's saying that the fake alien invasion is coming, is what he said. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
It is.
It is. It's all interesting. You just never know what's going to happen. Some people think that they're demons, and it's like the devil himself. I don't think so.
No.
Honestly, like I've encountered like demonic activity, like real demonic activity, and in my opinion, demons are way too lazy to put out that much effort. Like they're not gonna put on a human suit. That's an alien thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. If
a demon wants to possess you, boo, it's just gonna happen. Like they're gonna figure out a way. Like they're not gonna waste the time to go get a human suit. Like I don't have time for this. You know what I mean?
I'm wondering, because I found it interesting too that the black-eyed children were also reported to be seen in the midst of sleep paralysis.
I haven't experienced that before. I've experienced the Hat Man and shadow people.
Ooh.
But I've never experienced black-eyed children. That would freak me out. Nope.
No. Y'all can come out the window you came in.
I've been saging my house every 4 to 5 days because I had a really bad sleep paralysis moment a couple months ago. And I'm so scared it's going to happen again. Honestly, like, I just don't want... Every night I'm like...
Was that with the mark?
St. Michael, please just come in and hang out in my room all night. Don't leave. St. Michael, just stay the whole time.
I need to sleep.
No,
Literally.
that was the night... I think I told you. I was asleep, and I thought I woke up, and I sat up in my bed, and I looked down and realized I was still laying down, and I was like, oh shit, I'm having sleep paralysis, like, straight up, which I don't get very often, by the way. Like, it doesn't happen, like, constantly, you know, and, like, a lot of people, it happens all the time, those poor mofos, because I would die. But I woke up, I was like, shit, and the only way I can describe it is it looked black and white, like static, like, you know, static TV when it looks black and white.
Oh, the good old days.
The energy around me looked static, like the whole room, and I was like, shit, I'm in the shadow realm, like, straight up. And I was like, okay, and like when it first happens, you kind of panic because you're like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, because you want to go back to your body, but it's just not that easy. And all of a sudden, I saw this like door open, like a portal open in the corner of my bedroom. And I was like, oh shit, like, I know what's going to happen next. Like, I was like, literally knew it. And then this shadow person came out, walking very calmly out of the portal, walked up to me on the bed, crawled on top of me. And it was not on my spirit. It was on my body. And it was like scratching to like try to open up my chest. Like ferociously scratching me, trying to like cut me open. And that's when I was like, okay, St. Michael, this would be a good time to come in and help me out.
Come in and help. It's fine. We're gonna rave right now.
Like, spirit guides, anytime. And so I knew within minutes when I said that because my guides are good. Like, they're cool. Like, they're sick of my shit, but they're cool. And within seconds, I was back in my body. I was like, okay, we're gonna get up and sage, and we're just gonna make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was rough. So if that would have been a black-eyed child, I don't know what I would have done with my life.
I would have like thrown my pillow at them. That would be my first response.
Kat, you can't. You're not in your body.
Well, but some haven't seen them in sleep paralysis.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like if they just like come up to the door or whatever, I'm just gonna throw whatever I can at them. Get the F out.
Well, here's a good witchcraft tip, and it's for even people that don't really practice witchcraft. What you need to do is, if you have an apartment or a home or whatever, like I have a house, you need to name your house something nobody knows. Like name it something nobody knows. Don't ever tell the name of it, because then people can't like send black magic or bad spells to you, because your house is protected by the name that you gave it. Magic tip. Magic Tips 101. So yeah, I don't think it was anything sent to me. I think sometimes I have those things happen because I think I'm supposed to experience them to be able to relate to you guys. So you're welcome for me being the guinea pig, okay? No, you don't want shadow people in your house. Looking out for you. Literally. But yeah, back to, it is interesting though that even when I was researching it, a lot of black-eyed children are seen in Texas. What's with Texas, man?
Yeah, poor Texas, by the way.
Really, poor. They
general.
have the Snowmageddon. They have black-eyed kids. They have all kinds of issues. They have a lot of issues. Like, I feel so bad for
all
Texas.
kind of issues.
I almost went off on a tangent and I shut myself up.
I knew exactly what you were going to talk about. So don't even worry about it.
I didn't say it. I shut up.
Yep.
I almost put my foot in my mouth. Nothing against Texas, by the way, because Kat's family's in Texas. We have no problems with Texas, whatever. So basically, if you say no, you can't come in, they will go away eventually. If you don't, a lot of people won't respond, and they'll just stand outside your house and beat the door. Why don't you respond then and say no, go away? You know what I mean? Like, or like pray to Jesus or somebody. I don't know.
Say, Michael, go answer the door.
St. Michael, I'm gonna need you to take care of this, okay?
Gosh.
Have you ever? Do you think you've ever had an alien encounter?
Have I what? Oh, you cut out. That was creepy.
Great. That's fantastic.
What did you say?
I said, do you think you've ever had an alien encounter?
Yeah.
When?
I think you know when.
Oh, that's right. We both did. I forgot about that.
That was freaky.
Was that the only one?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other than seeing things, like, I saw UFOs a lot.
Right.
Not, like, actual alien, like, encounter.
So what do you... Okay, so Kat and I met an alien on set. She was the owner of the haunted location that we went to. I didn't know she was an alien until we got there. What
look like one.
What is the distinctual difference when when one meets an alien? Like, how are you so sure she was an alien?
That's a tough question because I don't want to come across like insensitive. Like, you know,
Kat, she was an alien.
She like had a huge cranium. Okay, it was huge, but her features were really small.
Right.
And her eyesight, or whatever it was, his eyesight, was very much like, I'm watching you. It was not normal. It was just not even for an awkward person. You know, like there was just something wrong. There was something wrong there, and it was just even creepier what she was wearing. So that was really creepy too.
Yeah, I feel like she was planning for us to be there. Is what I feel.
Yeah, yeah. It was very creepy.
Yeah.
The energy is very much like
her mannerisms.
Okay. Yes. You tell that one. You tell that one because that was creepy. And the suit.
Well, I just want to first of all let everyone know that I was born with the gift of gab. And I can be friends with anyone, including an alien, by the way. And I poker faced through that shit. Like, she had no idea I was freaked out by her. And I talked to her I talked to her and I was engaging in conversation with her. But yeah, she wasn't human. She didn't look at you when she spoke. She turned completely around. And it was almost like she forgot. She would have moments where she would try to human again and she would forget, and then however they communicate is differently. And it's weird because even Chanel, the first thing we were all like, oh, she's not human. Okay. Like, and we didn't even communicate. Like, she left when we were filming. She was not going to film with us on set. And the minute she left, we were all like, yeah, that was an alien. And
who would she look at? She refused to look at somebody.
Chanel.
It was Chanel.
She absolutely did not like. Well, Chanel had dark energy, anyways, and she was proud of it. You know, so Chanel was a little edgy and dark, but she did not want anything to do with Chanel. She was like scared of Chanel, and she liked Kat a lot. And she was wearing a hoodie from Kat's college or something, right?
No, she was wearing a Salisbury Beach sweatshirt, which I'm sorry, in the middle of nowhere where we were, was just very random because there's only one beach in New Hampshire. It's Massachusetts or New Hampshire, but it's in the New England area where you can get Salisbury Beach sweatshirts. And I had a little bit of an out-of-body experience, and yeah, she really liked me a lot, and my face was just like, this is like crazy. Like, I tried so hard to just be nice, because usually I can also just like, oh, it's fine, but there was something off. There was something off.
She's not human. Yeah,
she would not stop talking about the soup.
Yeah, well, that's an alien thing. You don't have really respect for, like, animal life or human life. She was talking about she killed her rooster and she was going to make rooster soup or something. But the way she was talking about it was very strange. And I mean, let me tell you guys, like, my family, I've talked about this, my uncles are from Oklahoma in the South, and they're farmers. They're white farmers, and they do harvest their own chickens and cows and slaughter, and like, so I've heard that kind of communication where you're like, oh, gotta go slaughterhouse today, get myself another chicken. Like, I get that, but this was different. This was like, interesting.
I'm laughing, it's so bad. And Krystal the whole time was like, okay, well, it's late, because it was like 11 o'clock. It was like 11 p.m., and this lady's just chilling, talking in the kitchen. Like, by the way, don't even know where she came from. Okay? Like, She just kind of appeared. So...
Yeah, and the coyote thing happened. There was a lot of strange...
coyotes were
but they also
creepy.
said they have UFO sightings all over that area where we filmed, too. So that'll be interesting. After, I'm going to release the pilot here in a couple of weeks, probably. And I have to do a couple edits. I also have to get with Kat, because Kat's song is on the pilot, and it's called Black Roses on iTunes and Spotify. If you haven't downloaded it, go buy it right now. Black Roses by Elm's Landing. But I have to get her approval in order to post the song so that I can get monetization on the pilot itself. So that's the process. It just takes a minute. But after the pilot premieres for you guys on YouTube, then in a week or two after that, Kat and I will do another stream where we talk about behind the scenes stuff that you guys didn't see in the pilot, and because I'm sure people will have questions. It's a really good pilot, though. It's good. It's based on Native American ground and miners, so it's really good. But I mean, I think that's all I've got for the night. I mean, Black Eyed Kids, do you think they're real? Yeah, I think they're real, don't you?
Yeah, I do. They're very creepy, though. Tell them to get the F out.
Yeah, I don't like the whole like banging on the door thing. It's rude. And why do you have to come in if you're waiting for a spaceship to pick you up? Why can't you just wait outside?
Yeah, why they gotta be weird and be like spreading that nasty, you know?
Yeah, don't bring your radiation in here, okay?
Don't bring that nasty
you know how hard healthcare is to get in the United States? Don't bring your radiation in here. It's expensive.
Oh my God, why am I laughing?
Because it's true.
So bad.
It's
I love some of the descriptions though of like when the kids would come and visit. Some of them are very story-like, and they're like, oh, the kids were on the couch and we made some hot cocoa for them, and we got back, they disappeared. And I'm like, why are you making hot cocoa for those creepy kids? They got no eyes. They got black eyes. That's creepy.
I don't know.
You don't want hot cocoa. They
well,
want
I feel
radiation.
like, well, if it's Texas, like Texas is known for being like southern, very like homey, like, oh, come on in, y'all, stay for a while and make you some cocoa. You know, it's very southern inviting. Where I'm from Colorado, I'm like, bro, I don't trust you, man. Like, you can just chill out on my lawn.
There's
like,
something wrong.
I'll open the garage. You can go in the garage. I won't be in there, but go ahead and chill in the garage, bro. There's a heater in there if you need the space heater, man. Why don't you grab the space heater? Let me throw you out a coat. Throw a coat on the door.
I can't. Your Colorado's coming out. I love it.
Like, Colorado's out. Oh, man.
I love it.
Oh, Steffo said they communicate telepathically, which is also just obvious that they're aliens then. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
Nah, they can go to Canada, free healthcare. Why am
Go
I
to Canada.
laughing?
Black
It's
Eyed
not
Kids,
funny.
if you're watching this, you need to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get somebody
for
sick
you.
with radiation poisoning, boo, like, they're in trouble. They're going to have to go fund me it. Like, it's a big problem. And there's enough money having to be sent to Texas right now. Let them have the pandemic, and you know, we don't need anything else. Okay? We have enough catastrophes right now, all right? We need a break. We just need a break. Next week, I'll have Elfie. Elfie will be on doing BTK chat and serial killer chat. So next week is going to be kind of more of a true crime chat, which is kind of fun. I don't usually do those because I know it's not super paranormal related. But as always, I'll sort of tie it into like paranormal locations so that people are always wondering like, where could a haunted thing be? There's a lot of things on TikTok where I'm getting ready to start like batching massive content. Kat and I both are. So make sure you're following both of us on TikTok and Ghost Girl Diaries on TikTok. We're going to start getting on there for GGD. But I'm sending myself videos of haunted stuff and I'm going to react to it on TikTok. But there's some kids that are breaking into places like idiots on TikTok to get like paranormal footage. And, like, there's, like, there's, like, dangerous shit happening. I'm like, then don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Like, it's just not safe, you know? But I will tell you something. I didn't want a Tesla, but now I want a Tesla. Because the Tesla... Kat! I'm going to get a Tesla and I'm going to write it off with the production company for us. And we're going to go ghost hunting with the damn Tesla.
Oh, let's freaking do it.
Because people are taking Teslas and they're driving in graveyards at night and they're seeing people walking in front of them on the, like, monitor.
Yeah.
I want a Tesla. Now Zach's
Yep.
gonna go buy a Tesla because I said that. He's gonna go buy a Tesla.
Oh, you guys just watch. Be on the lookout.
There's another
I
idea.
swear, if that's it, the mic is being thrown out the window. All right, not even dropping it.
I'm done with
The mic is
podcasts.
just gonna explode.
Oh.
Okay.
Just make some
You're gonna
notes.
get one, Zach. Get one for Krystal too. All right. You know what? It's the least you could do.
Oh my god, I'm dead. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. Yeah, he's moving to Texas, man. That poor man. Oh my god. All these like gurus just moved to Texas and now they're all stuck there in the blizzard. Oh my god, they weren't
And the
prepared.
Sea turtles.
Well, there's people saving the sea turtles, but something makes me sick. One of the zoos wasn't prepared and a bunch of the monkeys died and the birds, the tropical birds and the monkeys. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Why weren't you prepared for this? Take the monkeys home.
That's horrible.
Oh, I hate that. It makes me want to throw up. The lizards were dying. And you have Lily. I mean, don't...
Millie!
I don't know.
No!
Why would you open a zoo if you cannot care for the animals? That's a political talk, though. You know, let's just not get into it because I could rant. Let's not rant. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. And we will see you guys next week with Elfie. Make sure you guys are following us on social media for all alerts. Hopefully the next week's podcast should be fine, I'm assuming, as long as this contractor doesn't, like, blow me off for the 80th time. And, what Stephen said, I told Zach he needed to listen to Krystal one time. Oh my god. I think he's listened to me a few times.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He listens too much. Thank you guys for being such amazing supporters all these years. I'm trying, and honest to God, let me end this on one thing. What keeps getting me through this and keeps pushing me is all of the love and positive comments that are being left on YouTube. It really keeps pushing me, and it makes me realize you guys want me to keep going, and I really appreciate you. And in the end, once we get where we need to be, it's going to all be worth it. All the struggles are going to be worth it. And, you know, one of the biggest lessons in my book is always trust your intuition. And not only that, but take the positive and the lessons out of everything, which there has been a lot of lessons. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This will be uploaded as a podcast on Spotify. I have it in the process of being approved for Pandora and a few others. It should be up hopefully in a few weeks. Make sure you guys subscribe. This will be up on YouTube. And as always, we will catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Back from the dead.